Tip Tuesday. So, how do you get a great price for a home when you're emotionally involved? I will share with you, I recently had another agent come to me, and I think this was super smart. Not just because she came to me, she could come to anybody that does a decent book of business, okay? But she came to me because she is a real estate agent, but she doesn't do a ton of business. She's got another job. She got another really good job. I respect this person a lot. She's very intelligent. But she came to me because her and her family want to buy a house. And she'd been around this business long enough to know that real estate, especially on the residential side, maybe not so much commercial side, but real estate can be very emotional. Okay? And so when your emotions are going, you can do things that you shouldn't do or wouldn't normally be doing. And if you want proof of that, go to an auction. Okay? I was just in an auction on Saturday, and you see the people with the paddles, and bid up, and all of a sudden the emotions going. It doesn't help that one had alcohol as well, but emotions can definitely drive a bus. And so in this particular instance, the agent came to me. She had done some analysis. They had found a property that they wanted. There were some things about the property that they definitely wanted some help with the due diligence before and after making an offer. And essentially, she knew what the value of the property was. Okay? And one thing that I love about this particular story is she knew where the value was. So when we sat down in the office to talk about her offer that she was going to write, we decided, I suggested to her, I said, what is your line in the sand? Okay? And she told me what it was. And I said, okay, great. So don't go over that, which is way easier said than done, right? Especially when I'm not the emotional party. But this is advice that I give buyers all the time, right? Especially a buyer, if you're in an active category. Let's say you're looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath house, in a starter home or in a neighborhood that has lots of home sales. You pretty much know how much that 1,500 square foot rancher is going to go for, right? If you hear that it's coming on the market, you're like, oh, how big is it? It's 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,550 square foot, got a 2-car garage, and it's on, 0.2 of an acre. You're like, I'm guessing that's about 525, right? And then you see it come on the market, and if it's listed at 500, buddy, that might break the doorknob, right? Because there's going to be a bunch of people going through there. Everybody can see the same information you can. If it's listed at 525, you're going to get some good showings and probably some offers right away. And if it's listed at 600, don't worry. No one's going to come by your house. You don't have to have it cleaned up. So in this particular instance, this property that the agent was interested in was on the market for a little while. And we basically said, okay, I said, what's your line in the sand? And she told me, okay. And so the offer that she originally wrote was not for that much. She wanted to give herself a little bit of buffer room. And you know what? You can't get a yes if you don't ask a question. But having that outside counsel was, I think, in her position, extremely important. And we bounced a bunch of things off each other and everything else like that. So she wrote the offer, and lo and behold, they countered way higher than where her line in the sand was. And she called me and she talked to me a little bit about it. And I told her, I said, what are you going to do? Because what I would do is I would not go above that line in the sand. And she said, I'm going to wait. If it's meant to be, it'll be. Oh, man, that's one of the most powerful phrases that you can have in real estate, buying cars, making a decision of whether to move across the country. If it's meant to be, it will be. And I mean, you still got to get up and put your boots on every day and do some work. But at the end of the day, because she had her line in the sand, she knew where they were not going to go higher than. She just let me know a few minutes ago that she got they got under contract for less than what her line in the sand was. They originally got a counter offer that was way higher, and so they just let it marinate. They said, we're just going to let this offer expire. The sellers want to come back to us. They know our email address. And that's exactly what happened. So at the end of the day, I will tell you this video is way too long for what I'm attempting to get across, but this is an emotional business. The best thing you can do is have counsel around you to help guide you to the path that you want. Maybe that's a real estate agent. Maybe that's a couple people around you. Maybe that's your broker if you're an agent and you're writing an offer for yourself. Maybe it's your mentor. Maybe it's your office mate. But have that person to hold you accountable and be like, you said you weren't going to go higher than this. What has changed? Well, blah, 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 blah. Did they change anything about the house? Is the house more valuable than it was? No. Okay, so have that line in the sand. This also works if you're going to an auction. My wife and I, before we went to the auction, we said, okay, what's the minimum we're going to spend and what's the maximum we're going to spend? And that's right, we put a minimum on it because it's charity, and so we want to make sure we spend some money. But we have, every time that we go to an auction, a line in the sand that we're not going to go above. And sometimes that's really hard to stick to, but you got to do it. Anyways, hope this is helpful. If you guys have watched this long, would love it if you guys subscribe to my channel. Love bringing tips, strategies, and market updates to you guys. If you have particular questions, don't hesitate to reach out. BK knows the way.